Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into something that's been buzzing in the Every Watch Collector forum, Reddit thread, and late night eBay search. Why modern watches just don't hit the same as the vintage ones.
Yeah, we're not talking nostalgia for nostalgia's sake. There's something real going on here. Vintage watches feel alive. They've got patina, stories, quirks, stuff modern pieces just can't fake.
Exactly. You ever hold a 1960s Omega Seamaster and just feel the decades behind it? Compare that to a brand new Seamaster off the shelf. Sure, it's polished to perfection, precise, probably got a coexist escapement and ceramic bezel, but it's just kind of cold.
Cold is the word. We're gonna break down why that is. Design, movements, history, even what collectors really say when they choose a beat-up old sub over the latest Rolex release.
And don't worry, we are not just geeking out. We'll show a side-by-side comparisons, close-ups, and talk about what makes vintage so addictive.
So, if you've ever wondered why that tropical dial or ghosted bezel is worth more than your minty modern diver, stick around. This is gonna get deep.
Alright, let's kick things off with what you see first. Design. And honestly, this is where vintage watches immediately start pulling ahead for a lot of people.
Yeah, take case size. Back in the mid-20th century, watches were slim, subtle, think 34 to 38 mm max. Not these chunky 44 mm steel slabs we see today.
Right? A 1960s Omega Seamaster practically disappears under your cuff. It's elegant, discreet. Now compare that to a modern dive watch. Those things are like mini frying pans on your wrist.
Yeah, but seriously, the vintage sizes just were better for most wrists. They were built for comfort and proportion. Modern designs, especially sport watches, have gone big to chase wrist presence. It's more about saying, look at me, than actually fitting the wrist.
And it's not just size, it's the vibe. Vintage watches feel human. The fonts were hand-drawn, the spacing wasn't perfect, and that's what made it charming.
Totally. Think of those gilt dials on vintage submariners. Warm gold script, aged lume turning creamy or even orange. It's like the watch has a personality.
And modern dials, don't get me wrong, they are sharp, but sometimes they are too sharp. Perfect printing, lots of text, logos, certification badges, it can feel clinical. One guy on Reddit nailed it. The new Daytona dial looks like someone tried to print the spec sheet on it.
I love that quote. And then there's patina. Vintage watches age like leather boots. Every dial fade, every lume crack tells a story.
Meanwhile, modern lume, superluminova, ceramic bezels, they don't age, which is great for longevity, but you'll never get a warm ghosted bezel or a tropical dial from a modern watch.
And you know those crystals? Vintage pieces has domed acrylic, gives this soft distortion and warmth. Modern ones use sapphire. Durable, yeah, but it's like looking through lab glass. Cold, clear, and too perfect.
That's kind of the whole thing, right? Modern watches design is technically brilliant, but vintage watches, they feel like someone made them, not just assembled them.
Exactly. We're not saying one's better. But if you care about soul, charm, those tiny imperfections, vintage hits different. So we talked design, but let's go deeper, because what really sets vintage watches apart? It's the emotion, the connection.
Yeah, vintage watches don't just tell time, they tell stories. Every scratch, every faded lume plot, every ding on the bezel. That's not damage, that's history baked in.
There is this one line I love from the one collector. She said she doesn't see herself as the owner of a vintage watch, but as the custodian. That hit me. You're not just buying steel and gears, you're inheriting a legacy.
Right? Think about it. That 1950s Omega might have been worn through decades of someone's life. Graduation, marriage, war, loss. You're literally wearing someone's memories on your wrist.
And let's not forget patina. Dials turn in tropical, lume fade into warm vanilla tones. No two watches age the same. That aging It's like time leaving a fingerprint.
You get a modern watch, it's perfect, which is fine, but that perfection is just kind of sterile. No story, no scars.
Totally. Vintage watches are emotional anchors. For a lot of people, it's about family too. Dad's old watch, grandpa's longines, something you saw as a kid and now chase as an adult.
And some of these models carry serious cultural weight. A Rolex 5513 Sub, that's not just a dive watch, it's a Bonds watch. A Speedmaster from the 70s, it went to a freaking moon.
I mean, how do you beat that? A watch that ties you to the Apollo missions. It's like wearing a piece of the Cold War space race.
A lot of collectors even look for the best year watches, like I want a 1985 date just because it's as old as me. That mix of personal and world history, that's where it gets really deep.
And look, even outside the icons, vintage just has these worms. It represents eras where watches were worn every day, not locked in safes. Tools first, style second.
There is a line I heard that stuck with me. Modern watches are built to last forever, but vintage watches already have. And that's powerful.
Exactly. You're not just strapping on a watch. You're connecting to a story that started long before you, and if you're lucky, it will keep ticking after you're gone.
Alright, let's talk movements. What's sticking inside the case might be the biggest difference of all between vintage and modern watches.
Totally. Pop open the back of a 1950s Patek or even a humble 1960s Omega, you'll find bridges filed by hand, screws polished by hand, and decoration that wasn't done to impress Instagram, but out of pure pride.
Yeah, like Geneva stripes and pearl edge you can barely see unless you shine a loop in it there. But they're still there. No see-through casebacks, no hype, just quiet craftsmanship.
That era, 30s to 60s, was peak Swiss watchmaking. Even so-called workhorse calibers had soul. You'd find bevels done by eye, not by CNC code.
And those movements weren't just art, they were mechanical experiments. Hundreds of calibers across brands, each solving the same problems differently. Manual winds, bumper autos, column wheel chronos. There was so much variety.
But yet they weren't perfect. You're not getting 5-second today accuracy. And forget hacking seconds or quick set dates. Those were rare. But for a lot of collectors, winding that watch daily becomes a ritual.
Now compare that to today. Modern movements, hyper-efficient CNC machine, lubricated with lab-tested oils, silicone escapements, anti-magnetic hairsprings, 70-hour power reserves.
And honestly, that's awesome if you want a daily beater. Something you can wear surfing or to the office and not think about. Some brands even go 10 years between services now.
Yeah, but that perfection comes with a trade-off. Modern finishing, mostly machine done. It's uniform, it's clean, but it lacks that irregularity, that humanity.
Exactly. A hand-finished bevel has a slight softness. You know someone sat there and shaped that bridge. Today it's all laser precise, but kind of anonymous.
And durability-wise, no contest. Vintage watches weren't built for modern life. A 1940s Calatrava with no gaskets and a snap-on caseback, you're not taking shower with it on.
Modern watches? Sapphire glass, screw-down crowns, ceramic bezels that laugh at scratches. Tool watches today are built like tanks.
But here's the kicker. Some collectors say in chasing durability and efficiency, we lost romance.
Vintage watches might be less accurate, more fragile, but they feel alive. And for people who appreciate that kind of old-school craftsmanship, that tiny bit of imperfection is the point.
So, if you want something bulletproof, go modern. But if you want something with fingerprints of the past, something that ticks like it's whispering stories, you know where to look.
So far, we've talked design, emotion, and mechanics. But let's hear it straight from the people who live and breathe this stuff. Because if you really want to understand the pull of vintage watches, listen to the collectors.
Yeah, scroll through any watch forum or vintage Reddit thread, you'll see the same thing come up again and again. The character. There is this feeling that older watches just have more personality.
One guy put it perfectly. They just don't make them like they used to. And he's not wrong. Vintage pieces have quirks, aging, little flaws, and all of that adds up to something real.
And today's Owen Berger said it best. Each piece lives its own life and becomes individual over time. You look at a factory fresh modern watch, it's flawless, but maybe too flawless.
And it's not just the old school crowd either. Gen Z and millennials are jumping into vintage collecting like crazy. You'd think they'd want smartwatches, but nope, they're looking for something with soul, not software updates.
Yeah, it's kind of an antidote to tech culture where everything's sleek and disposable. A 60-year-old mechanical watch, that's anti-disposable. And that's history taken on your wrist.
And you know what else draws collectors in? The hunt. Vintage collecting is detective work. You're digging through old reference books, scoring listings, decoding serial numbers, checking dial fonts,
trying to figure out if the tropical dial is legit or refinished. It's part research, part gambling, part obsession. And when you finally land a rare variant in a good condition, the dopamine hit is unreal.
With modern watches, you walk into the boutique and tap your card. Done. No chase, no mystery. And vintage, you earn it.
And for a lot of people, that makes the watch mean more. It's not just money, it's knowledge, patience, and passion that got it on your wrist.
Another reason vintage resonates, it's a direct line to brand's roots. A 1960s GMT Master isn't just Rolex, it's the GMT Master, the original, the one Pan Am pilots wore.
Exactly. Vintage Patek, vintage Longines, vintage Omega, it's not just about luxury, it's about legacy.
And here's the thing, even people who mostly buy modern pieces admit it, vintage watches have an aura, a kind of presence that's hard to explain.
You'll never hear the phrase, "this one has a soul" tossed around. Sounds cheesy, maybe. But when you strap on a 70-year-old watch that's still ticking, it just feels different.
It's like modern watches tell you the time, vintage watches remind you what time has passed. That's powerful.
And in the end, there is this idea that you're not really the owner. You're just looking after the watch until next person takes the torch.
Exactly. It's not just collecting, it's stewardship. And that mindset, that's what sets vintage lovers apart.
So with all this love for vintage, you better believe the big brands took notice.
Oh, they noticed. Over the last decade or so, heritage reissues or retro-inspired designs have exploded. Everyone's doing it. Tudor, Omega, Longines, Seiko, you name it.
And let's be real, it started catching serious fire around 2012 with the Tudor Black Bay. That burgundy bezel, snowflake hands, vintage layout, it was like the greatest hits of the Tudor's dive watch DNA wrapped in a reliable modern case.
And people loved it. I mean, collectors and first-timers alike jumped on it. It didn't just look vintage, it felt vintage, but with none of the stress.
Right, no cracked acrylic, no finicky crown threads, just the vibe that launched a full-on trend. Omega brought back the Seamaster 300 and the classic Speedmasters, Longines dropped their entire heritage lane, and Seiko's been digging deep into the 60s catalog.
But let's talk about Faux for a sec, because brands started artificially aging loom. Instead of bright white, it's beige or pale orange, mimicking how tritium or radium ages naturally over decades.
Some folks love it, others roll their eyes. They call it Foxtina like it's a fake nostalgia. But if it gets people into vintage design, I say why not?
I mean, look, most people can spend $5,000 on a tropical dial submariner, but give them a modern reissue with a warm-toned dial, domed crystal and retro logo, that scratches the itch.
And it's not just loom, they shrink in case sizes again. Look at the Tudor Black Bay 58. 39mm, just like the 50s diver. Even the Black Bay 54 went to 37mm. It's like brands finally remembered that not everyone wants a dinner plate on their wrist.
Exactly. And beyond the specs, it's the feel. Gilt dials, no chrome guard cases, box domed crystals. It's all designed to pull you back into that golden era of watchmaking.
Of course, not everyone's sold. Some purists think these reissues are just cosplay, new watches dressed up like grandpas. They say it lacks the authenticity or the innovation of the originals.
Yeah, and I get that. A reissue can feel like a tribute band. It sounds familiar, but it's not the real deal. One Fratello editor even said he fell out of love with vintage-inspired watches because they felt like something pretending to be something else.
But honestly, the sales numbers speak loud. These watches sell. And when brands nail it, like Longines did with the Legend Diver or the Omega with the Moonwatch updates, it's hard not to fall for that retro charm.
It all proves the point. People crave vintage. Whether it's a true original or a faithful modern reissue, that aesthetic, that soul, still hits hard in a world of smartwatches and sterile tech.
Yeah, even with all our tech, we still want something that connects us to the past. That's why the vintage revival isn't going anywhere. The charm is real, the emotion is real, and the industry knows it.
Whether you go full vintage or grab a retro-inspired piece off the shelf, you're still tapping into something bigger than the watch itself. A legacy, a look, a feeling that just won't die.
And honestly, we are here for it.
So, vintage versus modern. It's not a battle, it's a balance.
Yeah, there is room for both. You want reliability, durability, modern materials, go new. But if you want soul, stories, and that handmade touch, vintage is calling.
Honestly, the perfect collection probably has both. A modern diver for the rough stuff and a vintage piece for when you want to feel connected to something bigger than just timekeeping.
Because in the end, vintage watches do more than tick. They talk, they whisper story, they carry scars from lives before yours.
And that's why we love them. Not because they're perfect, but because they've lived.
So, let us know in the comments what's in your collection. Are you a vintage purist, a modern tech head, or somewhere in between?
And if you liked this deep dive, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We've got more watch stories coming your way.
Thanks for watching.